Chicago Sky moved both of their home games against Indiana Fever this year to the United Center. Now, the United Center is the largest stadium in the NBA with almost 21,000 seats, which is more than double where the Sky normally play at Wintrust Arena.
Angel Reese fans were hyping things up until reality hit like a full-court trap. Caitlin Clark's first WNBA matchup against Angel Reese's Chicago Sky sold out in just 60 seconds, faster than a fast break. So, was all that talk just for the clicks? Did Angel Reese's supporters underestimate the hype? Or is this brewing into the ultimate revenge game? Either way, buckle up. This rivalry is getting spicier than a courtside argument with a hot mic.
But this game being in the United Center, if you guys did not see, tickets sold out. And tickets sold out in 5 minutes. They sold out in 5 minutes. United Center sold out in a minute. Sorry, not in a minute, 5 minutes. A minute. It was a fight even trying to get tickets. Seats kept disappearing. They started at $200. Back in 2007, you get season tickets for that price. You can go get season tickets probably a year ago for that price in some teams.
Yes, the Chicago Sky, a whole professional basketball team, just casually packing up their home court to make way for an Indiana Fever fan takeover. Because, nothing says home court advantage like rolling out the red carpet for the opposing team's supporters. But don't worry, Angel Reese's diehard fans have an explanation. It's all because of her. At least, that's what they want you to believe. The way they're talking, you'd think she personally signed the lease on the new stadium, built the seats, and installed the hoop herself.
It took just 60 seconds, 1 minute, the time it takes to tie a shoelace, pour a cup of coffee, or check a text. That's all the time the Chicago Sky needed to sell out 20,000 tickets for their highly anticipated matchup against the Indiana Fever. And let's not kid ourselves. The reason is as clear as day. Caitlin Clark, from Iowa to Indiana and now to the biggest basketball cities across the country. The Caitlin Clark effect is more than just a catchy phrase. It's a movement.
The Sky, seeing the inevitable tidal wave of Fever fans, crashing in, said, you know what? Let's just move. And just like that, boom! Within 60 seconds, every single ticket was gone. Scalpers? Oh, they're probably out here living their best lives right now. Meanwhile, Chicago fans, well, they'll be sprinkled in somewhere, lost in a sea of Fever jerseys, squinting at the court, desperately trying to remember what their own team's logo even looks like.
Basically, the Sky Fever tickets went on sale at 11 a.m. today for the United Center. This is the game that was changed into the 23,000 people arena, which I think is only 21,500 for games and 23,000 for concerts, but it sold out like that. However,
let's be real. There's only one reason this madness is happening, and it's not Angel Reese. Nope. The real reason? The one actually moving. The needle in women's basketball right now. The rookie with the golden touch, Caitlin Clark. But of course, the narrative must be spun. Cue the Angel Reese effect. Suddenly, she's the reason the stadium is packed, as if fans weren't glued to their screens like it was a sneaker drop, refreshing the page just for a chance to see Caitlin in action.
5 games against Chicago. That's a huge thing. This league has decided, hey, we know what we have here in this matchup. We know people will watch. And quite frankly, I'm ready to see the Indiana Fever walk the dog some more with the Chicago Sky.
But don't just take my word for it. Wait until opening day. That's when the real spectacle begins. Chicago Sky players are about to experience what it's like to be the away team in their own arena. The stands, flooded with Fever fans who didn't come to cheer for the home squad, they came for one reason and one reason only. Meanwhile, Angel Reese supporters will be grasping at straws, trying to spin the narrative. Maybe they'll say she motivated the Fever fans. Maybe they'll claim she manifested the sellout crowd. Who knows? The mental gymnastics will be next-level elite.
Now, people do not realize, there are some Chicago Sky fans. There really are. But as you guys can tell, not every Chicago Sky game will sell out this year, even in their 10,000-seater stadium. Most won't sell out. And the Fever are going to sell out every single game immediately in Cambridge, which is even bigger.
And let's not forget the actual Sky players in all of this. They've put in the work during the preseason, ready to make a statement in their home opener, only to find themselves outnumbered in their own arena. At this rate, the PA announcer might as well say, and now, the visiting team. It's not the ideal start for Chicago, and if this is a sign of things to come, it could be a long season ahead. But let's be honest, this isn't just about Angel Reese. The demand speaks for itself. When Fever fans take over Wintrust Arena on opening night, the conversation will shift from narratives to numbers. The Caitlin Clark effect is more than just hype. It's reshaping the league's economy. Tickets are selling out instantly. Arenas are expanding seating, and teams that once downplayed her impact, they're adjusting their strategies in real time. Even the Atlanta Dream, whose owner had plenty to say about Fever fans, is now seeing the bigger picture. Funny how quickly perspectives change when the demand is undeniable.
Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we choose to deceive. And what I am talking about is the Atlanta Dream. Now, if that WNBA team seems to ring a bell, big ding, ding bell right in your ear hole, it's because of the drama that happened last season. Came out and said, nah, Caitlin Clark effect. Caitlin Clark fans, nah. Everybody remember that shade she decided to throw at the fans, that disrespect? Anybody forget that? Well, my goodness. There we are right there. Atlanta Dream under fire after co-owners Caitlin Clark fan comments and Sky disrespect. And it was about, here we go. That ain't a representation of us, said about Clark fans. Y'all not like us, they not like us.
At first, the Atlanta Dream seemed perfectly content playing in their cozy little arena, treating it like an exclusive members-only club for people convinced that Caitlin Clark's success is just a media illusion. But then, reality hit. When the Fever rolled into town and ticket demand started looking like a Beyoncé World Tour presale, the Dream had a sudden epiphany. Wait a minute. We can make more money. And just like that, the same team that once scoffed at the Fever and their fans magically upgraded to a bigger stadium, faster than a bandwagon fan swaps jerseys. Meanwhile, the Chicago Sky, who at this point might as well rebrand as the Caitlin Clark Stock Exchange, are leading the charge in cashing in on the phenomenon. They're selling out faster than a celebrity apology after a bad tweet. And let's be real, they need it. When your entire marketing strategy boils down to, we're not Indiana, but please come watch us play Indiana, you take whatever you can get.
There's no doubt that this game is going to sell out. It is like the hot ticket of the season. And incidentally, it is going to break the record for the biggest crowd of a WNBA season.
And then there's the ongoing storyline. Someone who seems frustrated that the spotlight isn't on them. Every time Caitlin Clark makes headlines, there's talk about being overlooked or undervalued, despite receiving more media attention than most second-round picks in recent memory. You'd think the best way to prove doubters wrong would be to focus on winning games, but instead, the conversation keeps shifting back to narratives. Meanwhile, teams across the league are making adjustments, whether it's expanding seating or shifting schedules, to meet the overwhelming demand for Clark's games. Yet some still try to downplay the impact she's having on women's basketball. But the numbers don't lie. Ticket sales, TV ratings, and merchandise demand are all surging. And while some players might not love the attention Clark is getting, their own teams are certainly benefiting from it. Funny how that works.
Before Caitlin Clark went to the WNBA, the average attendance was 6,109. And then during her rookie year, the average attendance was 15,746, which is a 157.7% increase. We have talked about the Caitlin Clark effect many times on this channel, but I thought that this graphic alone, when you talk about the impact that she has had on the league and specifically the Indiana Fever.
The WNBA's stance on Indiana Fever fans seems to shift depending on the situation. One moment it's, oh, Caitlin Clark's fans are ruining the experience. The next, wait, why is she the only one packing arenas? Quick, let's move her games to bigger venues. The contradiction is impossible to ignore. Meanwhile, in Chicago, Angel Reese is playing in what feels like complete isolation. The so-called unrivaled league? Unrivaled in what? Empty seats, free ticket promos, or the ability to stay under the radar. Turns out flashy headlines don't put fans in the stands. People want real basketball, not just social media buzz.
I can't believe that's real, folks. I can't believe this shit's real. from a professional player.
But sure, let's go with the media conspiracy theory instead of the obvious truth. Caitlin Clark is redefining the game, while Angel Reese is just there. Because if the WNBA really didn't want Fever fans, they wouldn't be scrambling to cash in on Clark Mania. They wouldn't be shifting schedules, booking NBA arenas, and watching ticket prices skyrocket, all because one player changed the landscape overnight. Meanwhile, Reese's supporters are working harder than her defensive effort, trying to convince the world she's a must-watch star. But let's look at the numbers. Oh wait, that wouldn't be fair. When Caitlin plays, the arena is electric. When Angel plays, it's an ideal setting for peaceful meditation in a sea of empty seats. But sure, blame the fans. Those same biased WNBA supporters who, for some reason, only love Clark due to some grand conspiracy, definitely not because she's actually great at basketball. Yeah, that logic checks out.
I shouldn't be surprised, and yet I'm still surprised because Indiana Fever preseason, not even like preseason, exhibition game, where the Indiana Fever are going to play the Brazilian national team at Cover Hawkeye Arena, Caitlin's college facility, sold out. They went on sale this morning at 9 a.m. for Fever season ticket holders, Iowa donors, and Iowa season ticket holders for women's basketball. And then general admission was supposed to go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. I'm hearing rumblings of like maybe scalpers got in, like the secondary market is already crazy.
At this rate, Angel Reese's games might need extra incentives to draw a crowd, maybe a free snack, a discount, or something to get more people in the seats. Because right now, the everyone's against me narrative isn't exactly selling. Tickets. Meanwhile, the WNBA continues to play both sides, acting like Caitlin Clark's fan base is a problem, while simultaneously moving her games to bigger arenas and watching ticket prices soar. The league may try to downplay her impact, but the numbers speak for themselves. As for Reese, she came into the league with high expectations, but so far her production has been inconsistent. Some nights she flashes the potential that made her a star in college. Other nights, the inefficiency, defensive lapses, and frustration are hard to ignore. And while her supporters insist she's improving, the numbers tell a different story. Reese certainly has the charisma and confidence to be a major draw, but the reality is that on-court performance is what ultimately wins over fans. The WNBA is a different level of competition, and adjusting takes time. If she can refine her game and silence critics with production rather than narratives, there's no doubt she has the chance to be a true star.